Kelly. Welcome to Attitudes.
Hi.
This is exciting. What a group. Yeah, there's a lot of energy today.
Really?
That's great. We can use it.
You know, we're going to show you. They finally got us one of these.
Yeah.
This is our Attitudes tip sheet. Which camera do you want to do it on?
Number 3.
No, right over here. Okay. This is a thing that we talked about at every show, and we explained in the beginning when we dialed the number and showed you how to do it. This is the thing that you get in the mail. And let's open it up, and you'll see. Okay, and these are some of the things you'll see. There's a letter in this one from Dee.
And Linda's was in the last one. You probably saw that.
Right. And we talked about antiquing.
Right.
Some tips I had given on antiquing for those of you who want to indulge yourself.
Stuff of these.
Right.
And also the kitchen. The kitchen, you have your recipe for Jean-Claude Baker's crepe Suzette. That was a lot of fun.
Anyway, it's fun, and we get so many letters on something specific that you see on the show, and this way, all the stuff that we talk about in a week, you get in a complete tip sheet, so you don't have to sit in front of the TV and start writing stuff down, you know?
And also, it's $2.
Right.
But if you think about it, 25 cents for a stamp, 50 cents for the envelope, the paper, whatever else, the pen, the ink, no, the inkwell. No.
This is not a car.
Right.
We're not talking car here.
Right, exactly. And then to make the ink. No, it's just...
She's going to go with
Right, and the octopus, never mind. But it sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, you're getting 10 or 12 different items in the tip sheet, rather than sending for one for the recipe, one for thing, and it's the convenience of over the telephone.
So write for them and let us know what you think.
We call up and we could get it right here on our desk, but we just like it for the fun of it.
For the fun of it.
Right, anyway. And then today we have something else fun. Halloween masks are here.
Yeah.
And a dentist.
A dentist who transforms mouths.
It's really scary.
Yeah, scary.
Scary.
Right. On a serious note, we have a lady who's going to be with us that actually went into a coma for 9 days.
This is an incredible
story. And she survived, and she says it's because of stress. Is that scary or what? That's scary.
Yeah.
For all us ladies who try and do it all, be sure to listen to this one. Yeah.
But then, to bring us back to a lighter note, our favorite person is here. The Bean Gourmet is here. That's right.
He's not only our favorite, they love him. They don't even like what he makes, but they love him. Really? Our first guest would love the Bean Gourmet.
Yes, he should
have to invite him to stay.
Yeah, and eat breakfast with us. It's a bean breakfast we're having today.
Our first guest gained national fame, and you will remember this as the wacky, gun-crazy cop in the series Sledgehammer.
Funny. But as a child, he says that the other kids thought he had a direct hotline to God because his father was a minister. But they were all wrong. He didn't have one, he said.
And more recently, he spent time in prison with Tom Selleck. It's not exactly what you think.
Right.
He was doing a movie there. And he's going to tell us all about it. Please help us welcome David Rasche.
That was locked. Locked.
We don't want you out here.
Hello. Thank you.
Now,
So
David
many
has been working in the halls, going up and down. They said to me, you're very nervous. You, who did Second City, and I can't believe that.
No, I'm okay. Well, you know.
Are you sure? Is it the women?
It's a lot of women everywhere.
There are a lot of women.
I mean, I like it, but they're women producers and everything.
See anybody you're interested in?
Everybody, you know. I guess.
One of those.
Well, one of many of those. That's just me. You have gourds here. I raised those.
Did you?
Not these, but I do in my house. I happen to like gourds.
Really?
Okay.
I know, it's shocking.
I
just love them.
Are you a gardener?
No. Yeah, sort of, but they're very beautiful. Now, this one has shellac on it, which I don't like.
What do you do with a gourd besides eat it?
That's it. You don't eat it. You look at it and you say, isn't that pretty? And then you look at the next one and you say, And look at that one.
And all different.
It has
really-
no function other than that.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you ate them too.
I thought it was like squash and everything.
I've never eaten one. I just
You
like
could
to
not
look at
cut
them.
one of those up and eat them
You
in a
probably,
steam
maybe they're
them?
bitter. I don't know,
She
okay?
eats almost
I don't know.
I'm glad you brought this up.
I don't know. I do like them.
You're a minister's son.
I am a minister's son.
Did that
yes.
make things difficult? when you
Is
were
that
growing up?
the word for, is that difficult, the hand gesture?
I'm Italian.
It's okay. No, well, you know, I had a good time because I learned a lot of things like music, you know, I was singing all the time. And, you know, things that were important in our house had to do with the meaning of life and things. You know, those were the things we talked about because my father had to deal with people who were in trouble a lot and get up in the middle of the night and do all that. And all about nature, you know, he was a conservationist, my father, and very artistic. So the business world was not anything that was real to us at all. We just didn't, you know, I'm not sure that Christianity and capitalism really work together anyway. I don't really think they do. I know that's not you're supposed to say that, but I think in the end it doesn't work too well.
How do you get from a minister's son thinking about all those things to being called rat catcher?
Rat catcher? Oh my goodness. Well, that was
Somebody
Second
called.
City.
We got a lot of phone calls, didn't we?
Yeah,
Lynn?
we did.
A lot of people were calling us.
Not many. No, I did a character on Second City who I sort of talk like that and would stutter, but and there was a rat catcher, and that's where that came from.
Was that his occupation?
No, there was a rat catcher came to my house.
Oh.
And because I had so many rats, they were having parties in my house and making noise, and I wanted to get rid of them.
Probably tried to get the gourds, yeah.
No, I didn't have them at that
No,
time.
you didn't.
But if you
But
did.
those were, that was a whole sort of different chapter in my life because, you know, improvisational theater is a lot different than what I'm doing now because the difference is, you know, you have a script, you know, as when you do work on the stage and in movies and things. And when you improvise, you have none. And it really was quite a transition for me. I came to New York after being at Second City for a couple of years.
Yeah.
The guys that I was with like John Candy and Bill Murray and Gilda Radner, and a lot of those guys, except for Gilda, who came to New York to do that show, went to L.A.
We have some pictures.
my goodness.
We went and found.
There,
this
see,
is your
just
life,
so you
David.
can see. That's
There's
me.
David
That's me.
in the foreground, yeah.
That's me, and
John
there's Bill
Candy right
and
behind
John.
him. Bill is
Betty.
behind John.
Betty Thomas.
Betty Thomas. Remember Betty Thomas?
From Hill Street
Hill
Blues.
Street Blues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
More?
Oh.
That's you. And that's my hand.
That's it now.
Yeah.
It's right now. Unbelievable.
Fun?
Fun at Second City?
Fun at Second City, and was it more fun? Do you like being on stage more than being the structure of a television or a movie?
Well, it's not that so much. It's just, I think every particular the situation is different. I mean, it's got a lot to do with the plays and with what, you know, the script.
Yeah.
And I've been very lucky with that. Like I just finished doing Speed the Plow by David Mamet, who is really a great writer and loves words, and I like words too. And he also is concerned with what's going on in the world. What are we doing here? What is this human being? What is that? And why? And how do we get along? And who is God? And why is he doing this to us? And is he doing anything to us? And all these questions.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah. And so I guess in a way I'm having somewhat more fun now because at Second City, you know, you improvised only as far as I could improvise, but when you get into the theater and film, you get to say words that other people smarter than you say. Yeah. So when I could do a part written by David Mamet.
Oh, this is
Well,
more.
that's written,
this is
that's
Second
doing words
City.
by someone dumber than me. That's me. That's another one.
That's more Second City. Boy, John
More
Candy
Second
looks so
City.
young there.
He
And
was.
Bill Murray is on the left of the screen.
Bill Murray, yes. And there's Tino Insana to the right. He was a John Belushi's first partner when they got into improvisational theater in Chicago, yes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
What, are you married?
Well, depends. Oh, sure, I'm married.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm
are
married.
You children?
I have children. I have 3 children. I have, well, my daughter is a girl and the 2 sons are boys.
Right.
And
That's good.
it's worked out so far.
Worked out quite nicely for you, didn't it?
Yes, and I have a good, my son August the other night, he said, he asked his mom, he said, they were talking about death, and she said, am I going to die? And she said, yes, you are. And he said, well, are you going to die? And she said, yes. And he said, well, who's going to die first? She said, well, I think I will. And he said, no, I want to die first, because when you're first, you win. Yeah, okay. So he got part of it right.
He got some of that.
Not completely, but...
He missed a little of it. Yeah.
Tell us about working on The Innocent Man with Tom Selleck.
Well, they didn't have a clip, right? So I brought a clip from the show myself.
Did you?
This is an actual clip from the show.
Did you use this on Tom Selleck?
No.
That was on his underwear in jail when he would rinse them out, right?
Now, you told me that you play such a bad guy that the audience, when they see it, get up and cheer when you die.
Well, that is true. Yes.
That means you were good.
Well, it was written by Larry Brothers, you know, and it was a really fun part. I mean, it was somebody who was really wild, and I was really mean, and so no one could tell me to, like, don't do it that way, like the director, you know. Yeah. I'd say, I think I'm going to knock over this table in that scene, okay? Fine, okay, okay, fine.
Right.
But I did a lot of research, actually, for it, and here in New York, a guy named Joe Lisi is a captain now, and Richard Plotzer, his partner, and they took me out. There's a place on City Island where they train narcotics cops.
Really?
And they have a mock-up of an apartment, sort of a cheesy apartment, and behind the flats, there is a catwalk, so that the supervisors can walk around and see these first-time rookies walk through it. And they have a guy go in, and some of the policemen pretend to be druggies, you know, the bad guys, and they say, we'll make a deal, we'll make a deal. And they go back and they tell their, you know, the rest of the group, and they come in with their guns and they do a mock-up of a real raid. So I got to see, you know, really what they do and how they do it, and they really helped me quite a bit.
And you also filmed it in a real prison with real prisoners, right?
Yeah. Some was filmed in a real prison, and actually on the set, you know, you hear sometimes about how in a drug raid a cop is shot by another cop. Yeah. And what happened to us was, there is one scene in which there's a big drug raid, and when we did it, of course, we were nervous as actors, you know, because we got to get it right, got to get our lines and all this kind of stuff. And we busted down this door and said, get up here, come on, put them up, get your hands up, cops, cops, cops. And in the script, my partner is supposed to say to me, look out, because there's a guy who's going to shoot me, and he says, look out, boom, and he shot me.
Oh. Oh,
so there you have it.
It's
You're
so nerve-wracking.
nervous.
Yeah, sure.
He shot me.
Thank
well, then,
God,
of course,
that's for real.
But we're glad you made it here.
I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm okay.
Thanks, David.
We rode him for a
Good
long
luck.
time.
Go see him.
It's very exciting. Oh, thank you.
Don't go anywhere. So, coming up, what we all want to know about life before it's too late from a woman who knows. Come back, please. Can you relate to this woman? She is a single mom. She holds down a high-pressure job, still feels guilty about her divorce, and is trying to sustain a healthy relationship with the man she loves and obviously has no time for herself. Well, if you can relate, you should probably pay especially close attention to our next guest. What I have just described to all of you was her life back in 1984, right before her body decided that physically and emotionally it had had enough. In self-defense, her body shut down, literally. She fell into a coma. Miraculously, she survived, and after 9 days, she awakened, but not as the woman she once was. Here to share her story is the author of Wake Me When It's Over. Please welcome Mary Kay Blakely. Hi, Mary Kay.
Hi,
nice to have you here.
Thanks so much.
Tell everybody what happened to you during the coma. I mean, what did you feel during that 9-day period?
Well, obviously, I had no sense at all of the passage of time, so I was unaware that I was in a coma. I thought I was just having the longest dream of my life. Yeah. The first stage, actually, and probably this is when I was most critically ill, it was very pleasant. It was very peaceful. I had no sense at all of being in touch with my body. And I did experience the euphoric dreams that other people have described from the near-death experience.
Right.
Then there was another period of time where I was very conscious of sounds in the room. My sister Gina flew to New York immediately from Chicago and spent the whole 9 days talking me out of this coma.
Yeah.
And my friend...
Do you think that made a difference?
Oh, absolutely. I really think that it did. I was very aware of her sound and very aware of her touch, and it was comforting. And my sister is really witty and really brilliant, and you know, she just came to fight this thing. It was her notion that the medical staff could take care of my body.
Yeah.
So she really imagined that it was her job to reach my mind.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's a connection between the mind and the body. I do think that all of us, you know, if an embarrassing thought can cause your face to turn red, a dark, prolonged grief probably can cause other stresses on your life. And I think that was the case with me.
You really believe that all the stress you were under, which is sort of the stress that a lot of women are under in varying degrees or situations, do you think that something like that can trigger the body to just literally shut down?
I really do, and I have to be very careful about how I say that, because there was a newly diagnosed case of diabetes in that same period of time. But all of these things were autoimmune disorders, when the body's own defense system turns against the self. And when I was reconstructing that period of time for the book, I looked back and I thought, how did you get up every day when you were feeling so terrible all the time? I was feeling exhausted. You know, I was battling multiple infections as the result of a surgery. And I think the most dangerous thing that happens for women is we forget what normal feels like.
I think so. It's like,
I mean, I just felt bad and I thought, this is how I am.
We all go through life. We're tired. We never get to really get to us. There's too many people pulling and tugging and needing us, and we kind of just take ourselves and push it aside.
Right, and for me there were children and there were multiple editors in New York I had to please, and there was, you know, an ex-mate who I was still, you know, hoping to shepherd through the pain of divorce, and there was a new relationship, and I never would have given myself permission to sleep for 9 days.
Yeah.
But that's essentially what happened. I mean, I keep telling friends that for the same amount of time and money it cost me to have a 9-day coma, I could have spent a whole year in Key West.
Really?
and
enjoyed it a lot.
Time. Yeah. But we don't give ourselves permission to take that kind of break for ourselves.
No, we think the whole world's going to fall down if we miss one appointment, which is just not true.
It isn't.
No.
It isn't.
How has it changed your life?
Well, I really think that it wasn't just the coma, but the long recovery period afterwards, because it's really quite astonishing how devastating to the body a coma can be. I mean, already my limbs had begun to contract, because your mind is literally sending your body the message, you don't need it anymore.
You're going.
You're going.
You're going goodbye.
So I had a lot of weight to regain, and I had to, you know, relearn to walk, and I had to recollect the fragmented parts of my brain. So that whole period took a long time, and I think that the 3 weeks that I spent afterwards in the hospital looking at my life were the most productive 3 weeks. I mean, nobody who sits in a hospital bed who's had an experience as catastrophic as this says, gosh, you know, I wish I had spent more time at work. I mean, you never think that.
Ever.
What you think is you look at your life and you think, you know, my relationships are so important to me, and why aren't I taking more pleasure in them? Why am I, you know, being so driven by the shoulds?
On the list?
Why am I so driven by the shoulds, and why am I not choosing to take more control over my life? So I really think that it gave me permission to say no, maybe because it was, you know, so visible to my family and friends that I had collapsed. The changes afterwards were much easier to negotiate. I mean, I remember when all of the floral arrangements started arriving in my hospital room after word got out that I had awakened, and all of them were from editors to whom I still owed deadlines. And I thought, you've been hauled back to life because you left without finishing all of your deadlines.
That's right. Are you afraid that it will happen again?
I was. I really was for a while. I felt enormously vulnerable because I never knew this kind of thing could happen.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like if I didn't see it coming, could it happen again? But I've learned a lot since then. I've certainly learned to listen to my body. And as I look back in retrospect, there were plenty of warning signs that I was, you know, in deep trouble. And I ignored them because I thought, you just have to grit it out. You have no choice here. You have to keep running this treadmill. And now I think I have choices.
Okay, thank you for sharing your story. It's remarkable. Everybody, listen to your body, please. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Guest truly does make magic. A fine artist and a painter, she creates masks that transform the wearer into fantasy creatures.
Really, from Aztec goddess and Fairy Queen to Black Fox or Phoenix. The masks are truly astounding works of art. The name of her company is appropriately titled Nothing Real. Please welcome the creative June Harvey.
Welcome.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. June, how did you, the artist, the painter, the creator, get into making masks?
Well, it started in the Pacific Northwest. I was working with a group of wild, crazy Indians, North American Indians.
My favorite people.
Really? And they had a theater group called the Red Earth Theater Company, and they employed me as a costume and mask maker. So that's how I started in this whole business.
These are exquisite.
Thank you.
Tell us what they are.
What are they made
Well,
of?
this particular one, Phoenix, is made out of a thermoform plastic. And this is used in the medical supply industry. What you do is you make a plaster mold, and then you take this particular fabric and you put it in boiling water, and it becomes very limp, and you have 3 minutes to work with it, so you have to work very fast, and you mold it over the plaster
Into the
mold.
shape?
Into whatever shape, yeah.
But then you have
prefer.
as much time as you need to paint it?
Yes, and what you can do is you can continue working with it. It's a combination of resins, plastic resins, and also canvas.
Is this Medusa?
This is Medusa.
Beautiful.
So you
And-
work a great deal from mythological.
Yes, yes. I'm very interested in mythology, in particular Aztec mythology and Celtic mythology.
What is this one?
This is Victor Vortex, and I live on a lake in the country, and it's kind of appropriate that I started to make my own mythological characters that resemble aquatic figures. So this looks rather amphibious.
It does.
I guess you could say, you know, the spinal column of the front.
Come on,
So-
June, let's go over
Okay.
here. And we want them to see all of these because they're so wonderful. Tell us quickly
Bring
what
them right
this
through.
is.
Bring us right through.
Just tell us what they are.
Okay, well, in terms of characters out of mythology, this would be Pan,
Right.
the god of the shepherds, and he ran after young nymphs all the time, or they ran after
He was
him.
half man, half horse.
Half goat,
Half goat.
and half man, right. And this is Bacchus, the god of wine, one of my favorite. And this is the Harvest King.
What's
And
this?
I just call her Madame Butterfly. It's a Madame Butterfly facade, you know, and design.
Let's go over here, June. Now, what is this? Oh, this is lovely.
The white goddess Tara, T-A-R-A, from Tibetan mythology. And the Tibetans believe that it's a white goddess who is the redeemer or the savior of humankind. That's the woman that's going to help us pull
Matriarchal.
through. Yes, exactly. Back to the goddess.
What is this one, June?
This is little Tinkerbell over here.
nice.
And I call
And
this
this?
Lila. I started to work with a lot of floral arrangements this year, and people seem to like them for display, for window display
Isn't
and
that-
advertisement.
That's beautiful.
This is gorgeous. Now, these are now you do custom make
I custom-
masks, plus you do masks for
Socialites,
commercial.
yes, for
Right.
commercial use, and in particular, advertising and display right now. A lot of people are asking for them for that.
Tell me what these are.
I call this Betsy, and that's because I like Betsy Johnson very much as a designer.
We do too.
And
She loves that. That's like her hair. That's great.
Yes, it's similar to some of her fun designs, so I named this in honor of Betsy Johnson.
And this is all
it's
hand-painted?
acrylic- Yes, it's hand-painted acrylic paper. What you have to do is apply gesso first, then the acrylic paint, and it has to be crinkled by hand, so there's some time.
And who
And
is
this?
this?
Who's this?
That's Aztec, red Aztec goddess.
Oh, gosh, look at these.
That's gorgeous.
What kind of prices would these be, June?
This is also as.
Most of my pieces run anywhere from $50 up to $200 for something more elaborate.
But that's very
Now,
inexpensive
you know,
considering the
we
work.
call them masks that you just, you know, you would wear, but these are works of art. You could hang these on your walls. Do a lot of people
Exactly,
do
and-
that?
Yes, and that's
at
one of
this.
the sales points of,
Yeah.
Now,
of what
for-
I'm doing.
Obviously for Halloween, this is
Oh.
perfection.
Or someone who's into little
Tarantulas.
crawly creatures.
Yeah.
What do you call this?
That's Lady Spider.
Of course.
Lady Spider.
June, regarding the transformation element in the idea of the masks, is this also to help us remember that there is potential always for change?
Yes, I think that that's what the mask was created for. It's a very important tool. It was used by the Greeks, by the shaman, by the medicine men And
Good reminder.
it's a reminder of transformation, the fact that we can become whatever we really want to be. That
That's
creative
and a
potential
fun way to
is
do
always
it, too.
there.
Yeah.
They're
Now,
beautiful.
what are these called, June?
I love
This is
her.
Lady of the Red Rose and the White Goddess.
These over here.
Just
And these are
beautiful.
favorites. They're fun pieces.
Look
Women
at
like these
this.
because they make them look very pretty, and
Oh, Lord.
they're good for parties and masked balls.
Look at that.
Look at that.
You must be big in New Orleans at the
They
Mardi
like
Gras.
me in New Orleans.
Look at that.
June Harvey, absolutely beautiful. Thank you
Thank you,
so much
June.
for
Thank
being here.
you.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Thank you. Thank you. The Bean Gourmet is back. Yes.
Did you know that according to 2 recent studies, there's something better for beating and reducing cholesterol than oat bran?
Yes, I
do. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
Beans. Right?
Right.
It's beans.
It
right.
is beans.
Here to start your day and ours is our Attitudes Bean Gourmet, and he's going to show us how to cook a bean breakfast. Welcome, Tom Chowder.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom.
Here we are. First thing in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. We're up bright and early, aren't we?
Yeah, ooh.
While you two were
Yeah.
sleeping in this morning, what did I do?
You were
made us
making beans.
But first, I went out and got us the morning paper.
Oh,
you won't
good.
believe how hot beans are now. This is our morning paper. I just picked this up. The Sun, of course. We read this. Linda reads this every
We
morning.
read the classy
Take a look right
stuff.
down here.
Baked
Baked bean bath cures arthritis. So claims this man. This man is named Mr. Beanie.
Oh, my.
Yeah. We don't know if it really cures
Look
arthritis.
at those legs.
Look at those, yeah. We don't know if it cures the arthritis, but it does leave a nasty ring. That's about all we know right
That
now.
wasn't the most appetizing
No.
thing we wanted to
No.
see this morning.
Beans for breakfast.
Absolutely no. A lot of people are reaching for oat bran first thing in the morning because they hear that the soluble fiber in oat bran can reduce cholesterol, which
Right.
is true. But what a lot of people don't know is that beans are better for you because they contain more soluble fiber than oat bran, and it in turn reduces the cholesterol.
But, you know, choking them down at 7 in the
No.
morning could be tough.
But beans are versatile. You can use them in any recipe, and today I'm going to make the greatest recipe in the world. Kidney bean pancakes.
Oh, boy. Kidney
Absolutely.
beans. My
Absolutely.
favorite.
Of course. It will be your favorite. Should we get started here?
Yeah, I'll mix.
All right, you want to mix?
Yeah, I'll
Oh, great. All right, here's a bowl for you. All right,
Okay.
you come right over here.
All right, good.
Okay,
Okay.
very
All right,
good.
now.
All right, now the first thing we do
Are
is...
these hot? Yes,
Those
they
are hot. Those are all...
As I lean on it, good.
That's right. First thing you do is you take 2 cups of a pancake mix. Now, when you're using a pancake mix, I know, it's easy. This is simple and easy. Anyone can do this. Now, I simply get the pancake mix where you can add water. So you're going to have to go by the recipe that's on your box. My recipe calls for the pancake mix.
Right.
No
right?
egg?
No egg. No, just add water, my pancake mix.
Okay.
Right? 1.5 cups of water.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get these things out, just makes them so simple and easy.
There they
right.
are.
Well, now you
Already.
keep stirring that, all right? Now, while you're
Okay.
doing that, Linda, are you ready to help me out here?
Sure.
Well, now, I've had you mashed beans in the past, right? I've had you pound beans, massage beans. Today, we're going to take these kidney beans and we're going to mince beans. Okay. All right. Now, these kidney beans are great. They're 7,000 years old. They were...
These particular
No.
ones?
No. Kidney beans originated 7,000 years ago in Mexico. These are probably about a week old.
Oh, good.
Okay. Now, this right here, this item here is called the rolling mincer. It's got 5 rolling blades. So as it rolls along, it minces. It's from France. This is from the same people who brought out the guillotine, so this should work. Okay? So now you take
They
this
make
one.
chairs, too.
Right.
Do they?
Yeah.
You can pound chairs against these.
just
All right,
do
go ahead.
this?
Absolutely. Keep going. Right.
I'm just chopping these
You're just
beans
mincing
up.
those.
Oh, what
right.
a great little
What a
gadget.
great
Isn't
little
that great?
gadget. Where do you get
Yeah.
this little
Do you want to try it?
gadget?
I
Is
got
that
one
in our
for
tip
you.
sheet?
You get these at gourmet stores.
Really?
Super.
Yeah.
This is a good
Isn't it
little...
great?
Look at
Look
this.
how fast that goes.
You could do this with anything, this mincer?
Anything. Well, don't cut off my finger.
Careful. You're right.
Should there be lumps in here?
No, there shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be lumps?
No. Don't use the spatula. That's for the... You gotta wait till that is for later. No, you don't take the lumps out. You use the spoon and you stir.
doesn't cook.
You don't cook?
Okay.
Oh, jeez. You should eat.
Now what?
All right. The
that
next
enough?
thing you do, that is perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
These beans are great. Lot of fiber, no fat, hardly any fat in these beans, low in calories. Just put them all right in there.
Go ahead, just put them in. I'll stir them up. No problem.
Very
Smash
good.
them too much, Dee.
No, don't smash them
Should
too
I
much.
fold them in?
No,
now
no.
what?
Let me help you out, okay?
Go ahead.
Why don't you take your station right over here at the
These
frying
are hot.
pan. Linda, you want to join us right over here?
Okay.
Our utensils are hot, too.
Well, they're supposed to be hot.
No,
okay.
but they're like flying on the heat.
Oh,
Get that one.
that's bad. Okay.
All
What
right,
we're going to do now is we're simply going to
that's
cook.
bad. This is like burning.
All right.
I know that.
Now, Linda, here, do you want me to pour? Want me to pour this for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
go
I don't
ahead.
want you to pull a shoulder pad.
Yeah, no.
Let me handle this. Okay. Now, there you go.
You have an admirer here.
Oh, yes, I know. Now, right over here is for you, okay? Now, one thing, before you grab that, don't ever grab a handle with your hand. What you have to do is, you get a pot holder. Of course, around here, there are no pot holders, only old shoulder pads of Linda's. There's about 20 of these out in the prop room. They breed. These things breed.
What do you need these for? Just go in and get them. Take them out.
All right, now you know that these are almost ready to
That's very
flip.
funny.
When they start to bubble up around the edges, you see that?
Yeah.
And they begin to get dry, right. Now, when that happens, see, these are ready to flip. All right, now, before we...
These are smelling very
well,
good.
okay, before...
What's on the pan? Do we put anything?
I messed that one up for you. Okay, now, before you flip that, what you need to do is...
Get out of here.
You
Don't
need to have
wreck mine.
confidence. It's all in the wrist. Just act like you bring it up, stop your hand abruptly, like it's coming up against the ceiling. There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We're going to starve at the rate this is going.
You try it.
You want to try yours? Listen.
Ready?
Could I cook another?
Let's go. Come on, Dee. Flip that baby. Wait, it's an omelet.
Can I tell you something? I only flip omelets, and the pancakes turn into an omelet. Isn't that great?
You did a great job.
Oh, that's
Sorry, I
great.
got a little cup out.
Linda, tonight you're sleeping on the couch. Okay. So, you did a great job.
Be careful.
Shall we taste? We don't need to finish. Let's go ahead
Mine's
and
a
taste.
little wet.
burnt.
Look how good these look. This is when they're all done and when Dee's flipped them all nice and uniformly. Let me get another
I'm
fork
getting
for
a
you.
sunburn on my face from the stove.
Here, let me feed you. This is like breakfast in bed.
Now, do you put syrup on
Yes, there is syrup on this. It's all over it.
They look good.
Yeah. Here you go. You want a little bit?
You
You want me
Give me
to
another
taste it?
fork.
Yeah, you taste
You're
it
afraid of
first.
me ever since the bean burgers. All right,
No,
let me
go
taste it.
ahead.
Okay.
I like this.
Is it good?
This is absolutely...
Come on,
All right.
dig in.
You talk
what
me
do you
into
think?
it.
I wonder what you think.
She's the bean lover.
We need a little more
This is delicious.
syrup. Yeah, it's delicious.
And
Thank
we're
you.
beating cholesterol in breast, right?
Isn't that great?
Right?
I
This
shouldn't
is
talk with my
also-
mouth open. Are you kidding me?
Don't.
You gotta be kidding me. Linda, here. Try the one Dee just made fresh. Just a little taste. You're Italian. Go ahead. What do you think? Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me.
This is great.
Oh, it's super.
This is delicious.
It's super. Thank you.
I love it without the beans. You know what I mean?
I know it's delicious.
I think if you left off the beans, it could be great.
No, the flavor of the bean adds is
Well,
great.
who needs prunes when you can eat this?
You're hurting me.
It's true. No, you?
No, not the bean
No,
gourmet.
not the bean gourmet.
No.
You're invincible.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dee. Oh, thank you.
You really eat this
You put some olives.
No, you don't.
Coming up next.
Admit it.
How to put on a Halloween smile that would scare the tooth fairy. Oh, delicious. Wow. I know how you love scary stuff. If you want to make the very worst impression on Halloween, you must do something about your teeth because they're just too gorgeous, right?
No.
So it's all about teeth. Remember this. And if you don't have rotten teeth, diseased gums, you know, these incisors that come down like the vampire teeth and everything, what is a decent goblin supposed to do?
True.
This is a
now,
problem.
recently, a renowned New York cosmetic dentist,
Right.
Jeff Golub,
Right.
Golub, right?
Golub.
Golub. I never say his name right.
Golub.
Forgive me, Jeff. He joined us in the makeup room in the back, and he wanted to create some really scary stuff for us, right?
Now, Jeff is kind of famous. He's created the look on Broadway for Les Miserables.
Right.
And just look at these pictures. This is the before. Right. And here's the after. And also, we remember his work in the movie Eat and Run. Look at this.
And then run.
Ooh.
Gosh, they look real, don't they?
Yeah.
All right. As you're about to see, Jeff's technique is just really very simple. He uses wax, he shapes it, and then he colors the teeth for your basic Halloween scary look. For more elaborate effects, he actually can make even a mold of your teeth.
Well, he came to see us the other day, and he really put some bite into our Halloween smiles.
Take a look.
That's good. I love it. Good, ugly, good. Ugly, good. Good, ugly. Good. Give her a little more rancid cover.
What do you think of these teeth?
I like these teeth. I think they're me.
They're definitely...
I think they're me. They're so ugly. They're me.
They're a little off-center. Do you think we
I
should
like
move them a
that.
little? This is for comedy.
Oh, well, then it's
But
perfect.
we don't want to do comedy for Halloween.
Oh, we don't?
No, we want to be scary.
Make her
So these
cool,
aren't
like...
appropriate. I think, though, for our purposes, they would look better if they were a little yellower.
How about, yeah,
And pointier.
and pointier. Oh, you look like a vampire.
Definite point.
I drink a lot of tomato juice.
What?
I drink a lot of tomato juice.
You drink a lot of tomato juice?
I don't have blood on them.
Oh, Transylvania.
You can get the wax. You can get the wax from Gouda cheese.
Yeah.
Other types like
Oh,
Bonbell
that's a
cheese.
good idea for our moms.
What
for
a
Halloween.
good thing to do. Just
Great.
Well, where do you think I got this
Wouldn't
wax?
Oh, great.
Sort
from
of.
Gouda cheese.
Sort
Some
of,
Gouda
right.
cheese wax, and you can put it on the teeth.
Put it on the
Can you put it
teeth.
on your kids' teeth? Is it safe?
Absolutely.
Just sort of a pitiful vampire.
Can I take a picture of that?
Sure. Put those fangs in there.
Look at you, Dee. Do you look hippie or what? Look how that changes your whole face.
What is this you're doing?
This is your gum.
Rancid gum?
Tracy, let me have an explorer.
Ah, what's that?
Nothing. It's just a carver.
Columbus? What?
A carver.
It's like you're rotting.
Oh.
Oh, look, I think this is a good theory. He puts that on you, and your own teeth look fantastic.
They look fine, don't they?
You know what I mean? It's like
They look
comparison
perfect.
shopping.
Look how pretty you look.
All right, now, could we measure this tray, please? You just put your head back and open your mouth. Right. Perfect. We're taking a mold of your mouth now. Because what I did was merely a wax prototype, right? That was a prototype.
Right.
That was just to give me an idea of what would look fun. And I'm going to make that to custom fit so that you can just insert it. It will just snap in and
And how do you
snap out.
make it?
We make it out of bonding material. These are actual...
How long does it take?
It'll take me a few days. These are colors of bonding, do you see?
Yeah.
And I can set this with a light and make it actually hard, like plastic. So just like Lauren Hutton, as you mentioned, it'll be a plastic insert that will custom fit your teeth.
This is great.
You'll be able to walk
Can I
around.
use it time?
You can wear it on the
anytime.
subway.
So I could wear it for Halloween.
That's why we're doing this.
Great, great, great.
Okay?
Get
Red.
Stasi on the phone.
Exactly.
I need
Let me
a
see.
little green
Let me see.
number.
Okay, now we look beautiful.
Don't we look good?
June Harvey made us these masks, and we look absolutely gorgeous for Halloween.
Now, this is how we're really going to look at Halloween. Let me eat your neck, little girl. I love this stuff.
Isn't this ugly?
Isn't it great? Don't we look great?
What is on yours?
I don't know. I think he drew little
Insects.
little insects
Let me
or
see
little goblins on my teeth. Skeletons. Is that what it is?
I look like I'm in some mountain movie.
It looks like you haven't used Crest in a long time.
I look
you
like I
know?
should have been in Deliverance.
Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I know a guy that looks like that.
These are, oh, God. I'm going to...
I'm wearing these on Halloween, so if I come to your door, give me some candy.
Oh,
Okay? You
You love this stuff. I love this stuff.
She loves it. She'll be wearing it all day.
At your fingertips. Stay tuned. I'm drooling now. That's good. Yes. Oh, God. I just drooled. I
know. Interesting.
Do you know what they are?
Do you know what these are? Fingernails.
Can you believe it?
Well, they're not real nails, but they're nails to be applied.
Acrylic.
Yeah.
They're now. We were walking home, or walking here actually, from lunch the other day, and we saw these in a window at a neighborhood nail salon. It's called Design Nails. It's right on Broadway, right here in Astoria, New York. So we said we got to show this to everybody on Attitude.
Let's show you now. For Halloween, here's a Halloween nail.
Let me see.
See, we have them on toothpicks, so you can see that's how it would actually look on your finger.
Can you imagine?
Now,
what's
show
this one, Dee?
That looks like a tropical island nail.
Oh, yeah, look here. Can you see? Now, someone actually paints these.
Yeah, the manicurist.
And I guess you can have a different scene or design on every nail. You'd look a little peculiar, but...
Lynn, this is good for you. A black tie nail, a tuxedo nail.
Look, this goes with my outfit. Look.
Oh, that does.
Look at that.
I think you should put them all on.
Well,
now,
sure.
Right.
With my teeth,
now
that'll just be a vision.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, that'll be good. Then sore teeth, oh, God, for this week. They're $3 a piece.
Right.
And they're acrylic, and they're fun. And they really are little works of art.
Now, do they have to be this long? Can you put them on shorter nails? I mean,
I guess they could be shorter, but I think this is really the basic length. This is our Attitudes nail. Alan, can you see that? This is the little Attitudes nail that she made for us.
Funny. Look at that.
Now, you probably can get these in your neighborhood, too. Most of these manicurists are very, very talented. Terrific.
Anyway, it's
just
just
fun.
An idea.
Yeah.
For those of you who are bored at home, go have this done.
And when we see something, we can't resist, so we had to show you.
Thanks for joining us. See you next. Bye. Bye-bye.
To receive the Lifetime Attitudes tip sheet with information on today's show, call 1-900-773-4040. Today's show and issue number is 5. The cost of the call and tip sheet is $2. To avoid ordering duplicate tip sheets, please check your issue number before placing the call.
If you would like tickets, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Attitudes Tickets, 3412 36th Street, Astoria, New York, 11106, or give us a call at area code 718-706-3575.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m., 2 Central, meet model and actress Patty Dorbanville on Attitudes. Coming up on the Lifetime afternoon movie, after a man loses his wife to illness, he loses his sons to social workers. Mark Harmon fights the system to save his family in the touching true story, After the Promise. Next, right here on Lifetime.